My girlfriend publicly humiliated me by saying I was too scared to ever leave her, so I disappeared completely and let her discover strangers living in our apartment. The final nail in the coffin wasn't hammered in with a dramatic fight. It was slid into place with a quiet, confident laugh in a noisy bar. My girlfriend Jenna was holding court with her friends, and I was on the edge, nursing a beer, playing the part of the silent, supportive boyfriend. A role I'd perfected over our 2 years together. They were discussing another couple's recent breakup, calling the guy pathetic for falling apart. That's when Jenna took a sip of her cocktail and gestured in my direction. "Oh, that would never happen with me," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "He's too scared to ever leave me. He'd fall apart without me." She laughed. Her friends nodded and laughed with her, looking at me with pitying certainty. I was the safe bet, the quiet guy who worked from home and didn't have much of a social life outside of her. She was the sun, and I was just a small planet caught in her orbit. I didn't react. I just stayed quiet and took a slow drink of my beer. But inside, something went still and cold. It was the kind of clarity you get right after a car crash when the noise stops and you can suddenly see every piece of shattered glass. She didn't just think I was dependent on her. She was proud of it. My perceived weakness was her source of power. What she didn't know was that I'm a senior data architect for a major financial firm. A complex, high-pressure job that I do entirely remotely. She had mistaken my quietness for weakness, my preference for staying in as dependence. She saw herself as my entire social world, my connection to a life I was too timid to build for myself. In that moment, her words didn't just hurt me. They freed me. And I am, if nothing else, a problem solver. I stayed for another 20 minutes, playing my part. Then I kissed her cheek and told her I was heading home. She just waved me away. "Okay, babe, don't wait up," she said, not even looking at me. I walked out of that bar as a free agent planning a hostile takeover of my own life. The first thing I did when I got home was open my work laptop. For the past year, I'd been turning down offers from headhunters, recruiters constantly reaching out with opportunities in Austin, Seattle, Raleigh. I always declined because I was building a life here with her. One recruiter had been persistent about a director position at a rapidly expanding fintech company in Austin. It was a massive step up in both responsibility and pay. I found his email from 2 months ago. It was 11 p.m. on a Saturday night. I wrote back, "Hi David, hope you're well. Is that director position in Austin still on the table?" I got a reply in less than 10 minutes. The interviews happened over the next 2 days. By Wednesday afternoon, I had a formal offer. The salary was 40% higher with a substantial signing bonus and equity. I signed within the hour. My start date was the following Monday. 5 days to move my entire life to another state. My life was just another system to reconfigure. I own my condo, bought it before I ever met her. She paid me a small amount for rent each month, which she usually spent on clothes and brunches anyway. She had no legal claim to the space. I called my younger brother Matt and his wife Sarah. They'd gotten married 6 months ago and were living in a cramped apartment, struggling to save for a house down payment. "I'm moving to Austin for a new job. I'm leaving on Sunday. I want you and Sarah to move into my place. The furniture, the TV, everything is yours. Live here rent-free while you save up for your own house. Just pay utilities and HOA fees." He was speechless. When he finally realized I was serious, he got emotional. I hired a moving company and packed only my essentials. Everything else, the furniture, kitchen appliances, 75-inch OLED TV, I was leaving for Matt and Sarah. I had the movers pack up all of Jenna's things. Every piece of clothing, every shoe, every makeup palette. I rented a storage unit and paid for 3 months in advance. During this entire time, Jenna was sending me a steady stream of texts. They started annoyed. "Are you still pouting?" Moved to angry. "This is so immature." And finally to concerned. "Are you okay?" I never responded. I put her on mute. On Saturday, I had all the locks changed and wrote a short letter. I put it in an envelope with the storage unit key and address, plus a cashier's check for the total amount of rent she'd paid me. A full refund. I didn't want a single dollar of her money. On Sunday morning, the movers came. Matt and Sarah arrived with their own U-Haul an hour later. I gave them their new keys, showed them the smart home system, and pointed out the champagne I'd left in the fridge. Then I drove 1,000 miles to my new life in Austin. She thought I'd fall apart without her. I had to leave her to put myself together.